Hello everyone, how we doing this evening? So recently, um, I just heard the news that director, writer, producer John Singleton just passed away. And man, he was a really good director, producer, and writer. And I want to pay my respects to him. He uh, he directed two of my favorite movies, Four Brothers and Too Fast, Too Furious. Um, he also directed, produced, and wrote some of my other favorite movies like Baby Boy, Higher Learning, Boys in the Hood, and Poetic Justice. And I understand that, those movies are, their audience is geared towards the urban area, right? And although I am not from that area, I do respect how he was trying to portray the struggles that those people go through. You know what I'm saying? And I respect that he was doing his best to represent his culture in media. That's what I respect about him. And the crazy thing is that I got this shirt April 27th, last Saturday, right? In the last YouTube video I posted, which was The Grand Adventures of Adrian, right? I told you guys I went to Walmart and I got this shirt. That was the 27th. And then 2 days later, on April 29th, John Singleton dies of a stroke. John Singleton wrote and directed this movie. Isn't that a crazy coincidence? And another crazy thing too is that I released a song on Easter called John Hightower, right? The name John appears a lot in my 40 Days EP. So like, I don't know, it was kind of like a premonition type thing, if that makes sense. But yeah man, rest easy to him. Now, what I respect about Poetic Justice is that, how do I word it? Like okay, the main character, she goes through a tragedy, right? And to cope with that tragedy, writes poetry. I kind of did the same thing, right? I didn't suffer the loss of a loved one, thank God. But I've been through some things in my life, and writing has always been like a therapy for me. You know what I'm saying? So, I relate to that. And poetry is very subjective, right? Everyone interprets poetry differently. But another thing too was that in the movie Tupac, Lucky, he was trying to become a rap artist, so that he could have a more meaningful career. He wanted a platform to speak to others, right? Like his cousin was. I kind of have the same aspiration as to where I want to gain a platform where I can talk to a bunch of people and I can, express my thoughts and such. But yeah, that's basically all I wanted to say. Um, Now let me switch topics. Uh, Recently got a job at JCPenney, so that's cool. I got orientation next Wednesday at 3:30. So hopefully, I learn how to work in retail and hopefully it's the right environment for me and I can hold this job down and save money because that's the ultimate goal. Today we had like a house meeting in the transitional living program I'm living in, and it reminded me of what I'm working towards. Um, if everything goes according to plan, what I want to do is I want to work a job, right, for the next couple months, and I want to put money into my savings account, and I want to show up every day on time, and I want to show open arms that I am a responsible young adult. Speaking of which, today I opened up a bank account at a credit union called Doku. Now, while I was at Doku, it's spelled DOCO, and the O, the way that it's styled, is that it looks like three moons, like three crescent moons in a circle. And another funny coincidence is the therapy group that I go to, Aspire, the center that I go to is called the Evolve Center, right? Evolve. That's like the word on like the inside of the building. It's called the Evolve Center. And in Evolve, the O is also stylized in three crescent moons. Now I'm not sure as to exactly what that means, but I'm pretty sure it must hold like it must hold like a significant meaning, right? If it popped up twice in my life at two centers that are important to me, right? Because the place that I go to get help with my mental state and the place that I go to hold and secure my money, they're both very important places. So if they both have three crescent moons, that has to mean something. Now, three is a sacred number. That's obvious. As far as what the moon means, it can represent change because the crescent moon is either when the moon is just starting to grow or when it's about to close. So, such is life. Everything is a cycle, right? So, maybe the three moons represent new chapters in my life. I don't know. But back to what I was saying. My goal is to, for the next couple of months, work at JCPenney, maybe Q's Cakes. I don't know what my schedule is yet. I mean, if I can hold both jobs, I will. But if I have to sacrifice Q's Cakes, I will because JCPenney pays more, it offers more hours, and it's something that is legit. Like, I can get a direct deposit, whereas Q's Cakes I'm paid in cash. But the goal is to save up money, right? And eventually move out into my own apartment. Because right now, I'm staying in a house, but I have two roommates. And I have a supervisor that comes and goes. Now, if I can show open arms that I'm responsible, they will help me move into my own place. And they will fully furnish the apartment for me. They'll, like, get the bed, the couch, the dressers, the desk, the table, like, fully furnished, right? And for the first few months, they will pay the rent for me so I can just save up money. And then the next stage would be they pay part of the rent and then I pay the other part of it, right? And then from there, they just slowly uh, let me. Do you understand what I'm getting at? Like, they slowly withdraw until, like, I'm paying it on my own, right? You understand me? So, hopefully it all works out. Um, as far as music wise, I'm working on a project called 40 Nights, which is kind of like the sequel to 40 Days. Because 40 Days was in chronological order. It was from Thursday to Sunday. 40 Days was that, and then 40 Nights is going to be the next day, Monday. But I'm working on 40 Nights, and I'm also working on another project called Rainy Nights, and those two should be released within the next 2 months, probably within the next month. And then after that, I'm probably gonna take a break and work on this third project called Rainy Days EP. Um, but yeah, that's a little update for now. The ultimate goal is to improve and evolve, as I've always said. And it doesn't matter where you're at in life. It doesn't matter what your situation is. You can always, control the internal and find ways to improve. Um, there's no excuses whatsoever. It doesn't matter what you're going through. You have the power to change. A lot of us, we stay stagnant because we're scared of change and because being in this purgatory of sorts is more comfortable than facing your demons. Staying in this routine is like a cushion, right? And a lot of us do not like to embrace change, but that's how we grow. It's like, when you exercise and you work out your muscles, in order for your muscular tissue to become stronger, you must first tear those tissues, right? And then they regrow, but when they regrow stronger, right? So it's the same thing with your mind. Your brain is just one big ass fleshy muscle in your brain. They say that your brain is like the size of this. It's a muscle. So the way that you grow and strengthen your mind is that you must tear, your mental tissues. And the way you tear your mental tissues is by embracing challenges, right? And I'm not perfect. I'm far from perfect, but I mean, I'm improving and I'm becoming a better person than I was yesterday, and I'm definitely a better person than I was a year ago. Um, I think my biggest problem is that I have a hard time keeping myself in check. Like there's a time and place to grieve over things, there's a time and place to be sad, but when I'm around others, I have to learn to watch how I react to things. And when I'm around others, I have to watch how I speak and my attitude and such because the world doesn't revolve around me. Everything that I do affects others, so I have to watch how I act, right? Um, and another thing that I'm working on is staying on top of my positive habits because your brain is a bunch of neural pathways, right? And the more that you do something, is the stronger that pathway becomes. So for years, I've been practicing these bad habits. So all these toxic habits are ingrained in my brain, and sometimes I catch myself slipping because my mind goes into autopilot, right? So I have to constantly practice these positive habits so I can form new neural pathways. And when my mind goes into autopilot, it goes into a positive autopilot. I'm just in the beginning stages of transmuting my subconscious because I want to say since I was 13, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's about 6 years of mental habits that I have to break. Well, because I didn't really start spiraling downwards till I was about 12, and I didn't start changing my mind till I was 17. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's about 5, 6 years that I've been conditioning myself in a toxic way. So, now that I'm 19 and I'm maturing, it takes a little while to change. So every day, like I have to watch myself and I have to follow my routine of, writing, rapping, meditating, reading, like going to church, um, playing basketball, being active, watching what I eat, watching what media I consume. Uh, like it's all these things that I have to work on, and I'm still young, and I want to, like I said, start building new neural pathways so I can therefore become a better person. Um, so yeah, you know, there's a lot that needs to be done, and I can't I can't keep running from myself, and I can't keep running away from my problems. I have to face them head on, and that's what I've been doing for a while. Like I kind of sometimes portray myself as above, as someone who is, so conscious and aware, but I still find myself not practicing what I preach, and I want to start doing that. But that's all I want to say for now. Um, oh, I'm also working on this timeline project. I like about a week ago, I want to say, I like screen recorded my Facebook timeline, and I kind of made like an autobiography of it. But it came out longer than I expected, so now I'm trying to organize it before I post it publicly. Um, so yeah. And I don't know if I showed you guys this, but I recently got this Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. It's like a comic book style type thing. See, like it's a comic book type fucking adaptation of the movie, because the movie was fucking amazing. If you guys haven't seen the movie, it's a really good movie, but see how like it's a comic book style. I have all my books right here on the windowsill. You know, like this book's powerful, very powerful book, and you don't have to be black to get the message from this book. This book is very empowering. Now, if you are African American, or if you come from an African tribe, that book is going to help you. But I mean, if you're Hispanic like me, or if you're like a minority, it's going to help you see how, I don't know how to explain it, man. Like, I'm not trying to be something I'm not. I'm just saying I'm pulling what I can from it and applying it to my life, right? The ideas that are inspired from that book help me start to think of ways that I can impact my people, right? And really, we're all oppressed. Like, if you're not one of the owners of the banks, if you're not part of the 1%, you're oppressed. It doesn't matter what culture you come from. So, like I said, anyone can read that book and be inspired to make a positive impact in the community. It doesn't matter where you come from. Um, so yeah. And then Batman Philosophy. It's a good book right here too. I've always been interested in philosophy. I was thinking about, instead of going into the medical field, maybe become like a psychology major and go into therapy, or do something with it, because I'm so analytical, and I'm always thinking about how our minds operate. And I've been through some experiences myself, so perhaps I can help others get through theirs. It's an idea. But yeah. God forbid, if I ever die, just remember me and focus on what I was trying to do. Because my ultimate goal, like I said, is just to help humanity start thinking for themselves, and to just change the way that we live, because we're not living righteous. And we wonder why we're plagued with so many curses. It's because we're not living righteous. We need to start realizing that there is more to life than materialism. There is more to life than going to a 9 to 5 and paying taxes. There's more to life than dedicating your attention to people who don't deserve attention. Like, there's so many leaders in the world today that are trying to change the world, but we're so focused on pop stars. Like, what? I want to say something before I go. I recently watched Infinity War Endgame, right? Cool movie, 3 hours long. And you know me, when I watch movies, I like to research about it, like the trivia and the actors in it, how much it made and such. So I was doing my research on Endgame. It was reported that in the opening weekend, it made $1.2 billion. This is just the opening weekend. Imagine how much it's going to make as time goes on. And this is just one movie. That's not factoring in all, what is it, 22 movies? Can you imagine how much money that is? And who does it all go to? The 1% again, the one who owns Disney. Speaking of which, Disney owns more than just the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Disney owns a whole bunch of shit. Where the fuck is all that money going to? It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. So you're telling me that this company can produce that much money but can't help the poor? It's not just Disney, it's other fucking corporations too. Make how many billions and billions of dollars and you cannot elevate the current state of the world? There's something wrong with that logic. And I understand that, like, not all of that money goes to like one person or the group of people who own that corporation, but I mean, like, a large chunk of it is just insane. No fucking person should have that much money. What the fuck you do with all that money? You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous to me. Like Tupac said, how the fuck is there a lottery for billions of dollars, but we have people homeless in the streets? It just doesn't make no sense, man. It's mind-boggling. Think about how much money we spend on, like, okay, recently, what was it, the Billboard Awards? I was seeing YouTube videos of it because I don't watch television, but I was seeing YouTube clips of it, and these fucking performances are phenomenal. They're really well choreographed, and the special effects are amazing. But think about how much money and time and energy went into that. Why not put that time, energy, and money into something positive? Because all those award shows, all they are is like their energy sacrifices. You know how many pairs of eyes are on that event? That's a type of hypnosis. I don't know. Maybe this is just not making any sense to any of you. So I'm gonna stop right here before I go on and on and excuse me on. But yeah, John Singleton, rest easy, man. I like how, like I said before, he was just trying to express himself. He was a true artist. He was trying to portray something that wasn't normally portrayed in media. So rest easy, man. And until next time.